If you ever felt the pressure of trying to figure out your career path, know that you're not alone. Just like on a road trip, you don't always know the exact destination when you first get in the car. But as the journey unfolds, you'll find your way, and so will your career.
Everything I'd gone through, I realized that the human mind, if you can put it in a very quiet, calm place and get it to calm down and not be so spastic, that you could possibly make this work out for you. How bad are you really?
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to What Makes Sense. Let's take a ride through how we can navigate this uncertain road and maybe even enjoy the journey while we're at it. Part 1. The speed bumps on your road trip. We live in a world where it feels like everyone expects you to have your life figured out by the time you hit adulthood. It's like the minute you get behind the wheel, people want you to know your final destination. But here's the thing, that's not how life works. And that's not how a road trip works either. If you don't have a detailed map, you're not lost, you're exploring. Will Rogers once said the road to success is dotted with many tempting parking spaces. Just like Will Rogers said, there will always be a distraction along the way. People trying to tell you where to go or pressure you to get there faster. But remember, this is your journey and you do not need to have it all figured out by the time you start driving. There's plenty of time for exploration, and often the best destinations are the ones you didn't see coming. Part 2. Detours are part of the journey. Ever been on a road trip and found a hidden gem you'd never planned to stop at? Maybe a cool town, a great view, or even an interesting restaurant. That's what career uncertainty feels like. Unexpected and in the end, exciting. Not knowing your destination is normal, and it can be a chance to find something new you've never thought you would stumble upon if you were too focused on the final destination. Most of us are familiar with the philosophy Mr. Emerson once gave us: life is a journey, not a destination. We need to embrace the detours in our careers. Many people switch careers multiple times in their lives. Some even find their true calling after years of trying different routes. For instance, Walt Disney didn't start with animation, he worked in different fields before discovering his passion. Sometimes the road to success is winding and it's completely okay. Part 3. How to navigate career uncertainty, or as I like to call it, turning your map into an adventure. Alright, so now that we are on this trip, how do we make sure we are moving the right direction? There are some ways to start exploring and narrowing down your options. Number 1. Your starting point on the map. Think about the last time you went on a trip. You probably picked out a destination that excited you. Well, identifying your natural strengths is like picking your first stop. What activities make you lose track of time? They are your clues about the paths you might consider. Try writing down your hobbies and things that you might consider doing in your free time and see what careers match those. You'd be surprised how many jobs are tied into your passions. Number 2. Explore the scenic routes. Just like a road trip, where you take the scenic routes to discover new places, you should try new things: internships, side projects, part-time jobs. These are all new roads waiting to be explored. Imagine you're on a road trip and you're unsure which road to take. Sometimes you won't know which path is best until you try them all out, until you've driven through the mountains or stopped in that quirky little town. Number 3. Asking locals for the best roads. When you're on the road, you might ask a local for directions to the best places. Well, do the same in your career. It is incredibly useful. Talk to people in career spaces that you're interested in and get a sense of what they do in their day-to-day lives. Because it is not the road that's difficult, it's the journey. Do not be afraid to ask for advice, shadow someone, or even attend a career fair. These locals can give you insights into whether a particular career feels like the right for you or not. Number 4. Your GPS for career exploration. Take personality and career tests. Like a GPS guiding you when you're lost, career tests can help you and give you some direction. They are not the final answers, of course, but they can point you towards options that you may not have considered before. Try out different personality tests like the Myers-Briggs or Strength Finder. Compare these results with careers you're interested in and see where they align. Number 5. Know the road you want to travel. Consider what's important to you on your trip. Do Do you want the scenic views, quick rest stops, or a leisure place? In your career, what matters to you most? Do you want work-life balance, a high-paying job, or maybe you want to help others or be creative? Because Robert Collier once said success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. So understanding your values is like knowing what kind of car you want to drive. Do you prefer a sports car that can get you there fast or a comfortable SUV that's reliable on long trips? Knowing what you value most will help you narrow down the right career paths. Part 4. Embrace the journey. There's no right or wrong route. Now that we've talked about finding your path, remember your career journey does not need to have a final destination right away. It's not about rushing to get to a specific point, it's about the experiences and lessons along the way. Because life is like a road trip, there's no exact roadmap, and that's the beauty of it. Be open to the unexpected, embrace the learning curves, and adapt as you go. Career paths aren't always linear, and that's perfectly fine. And therefore, one of the most important you should never forget is to enjoy the road trip. Your career is yours to explore. If you're feeling lost, unsure, or behind in figuring out what your career will be, remember, it's just part of the journey. Take the pressure off, enjoy the ride, and trust that each experience brings you closer to figuring out where you want to go. Don't be afraid to take a detour, because the best views often come from the unexpected parts. So, as we approach the end of the road trip together, here's the real question. What if this journey, this uncertainty, is exactly where you're supposed to be?